Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you have been trading for a while, I'm sure you have experienced already some sort of pressure from the market. And today I'm going to talk about how to deal with that. So with no further ado, let's get to it.
Something that never changes within trading, Agnieszka, is pressure overall. It doesn't matter if you're a prop firm, a solar trader, someone just getting started out, or a 20-year veteran on it. Would you mind giving us your insight on how you've seen people manage pressure? And to be quite frank, what even is pressure within trading?
When I started trading, obviously I felt pressure of I have to make money. When I lost money, the pressure was I have to make my money back. And overall pressure is when you start the day. I always felt this pressure of, new day, the bell goes and you're already there and like, okay, I got to jump into something because I'm here to make money. And that pressure is always like accelerating, make you really excited. And a lot of times it's pushing you to take trades without a setup, right? Just because everything, like if you see things moving, you feel like, oh, I have to take a trade. So that is one type of pressure, that urge of making money. And a lot of people have this pressure, especially when they are in need of money, when they don't have the saving account and money put away to live off, but they get into trading with the thought, I'm going to make a living out of it, but I have to do it right now, right? And they don't give themselves the time to actually learn, to go through the process and to make small steps. Now, I saw somewhere this drawing about, why small steps are so important, because if you have a ladder with, that has a huge distance between the steps, it's very hard to climb it, right? Because you just cannot reach the next step. But if it's a small ladder and you make small steps, gradually you are actually going to progress. In trading, a lot of times is when you take a big step forward, which usually happens by oversizing, because you think if I buy more shares and the stock is going to move, now I'm going to be in money. Unfortunately, many times it happens the other way around. So now you have lost a big amount and now you have even more pressure because now you have to make it back and you keep remembering about that loss that you just took. The more general pressure in the market comes from the dynamics and the environment, just simply how the market operates. Probability, right? Probability means you don't know what is going to happen. Nothing is for sure. Probably something might go up or it might go down, and you just have certain amount of chances, right? Could be 50-50, and it's never really, you are never really sure what the chances are. So wherever you look, wherever you go, you simply don't know. That uncertainty can create a lot of pressure. If we look at how we live in general, we are trying to secure ourselves on all kinds of fronts, right? We buy insurances. We want to know for sure how our future is going to look like. We want to make sure that we are safe, that we are taken care of, and that everything is under control. Now, in the market, you're not controlling the environment. And that's the very big clash with reality, because a lot of traders are trying their best to control the market, and they cannot. They cannot. Simply, you cannot control the market. So you have to realize that you are just a participant and you have the privilege to participate in the dynamic and in the activity of the market and what the market is offering you. Now, you can see yourself as a sort of a guest, right? You're coming in the morning, you have the opportunity to trade. Whether you make money or not, at some point, your turn finishes. You have to step away, right? And that is creating another pressure of, I don't have enough time and I have to be there all the time. There's not enough opportunity, right? This scarcity mindset of like, I have to hurry. I have to hurry because what if I miss this opportunity and I'm not there, I don't notice it, and I don't make the money, and you start making yourself completely crazy in your head. Now, you cannot trade everything that's in the market, right? You cannot trade everything that's moving, especially when the market is moving pretty strongly. You have to make choices, which creates pressure again. So you see, there are a lot of different pressures, right? But I think the main one comes from the uncertainty and feeling uncomfortable in that situation of not knowing. Because when we don't know, we are trying to find out, right? We are trying to make sure that we are making the right decision. And you just don't know if the decision is right at the moment of taking it. You just have to take the chance. You have thesis, you build your plan, you make the most educated guess you can based on, I don't know, on indicators or trend lines or whatever you are using to build your thesis. And then you just have to, you just have to do it. You just have to say, okay, I'm just going to take the trade and protect my capital, manage my risk, and then the market will show me if it works or not.
So Agnieszka, that brings on a question here. How can someone develop these abilities in a much faster manner than what we've had to do 5, 10, 15 years within the market? How can someone learn to leave it at the door and separate the wife, the husband, the kids, the friends from their trading? How do you make that line?
I think to make sure that you leave the pressure and the consequences of your result of trading that day, whether it was negative or positive, is to start making that split right from the start. So if you compare this to athletes, right, they are not practicing at the moment that they are performing. So when you come to your trading desk, that's your game time. It's almost like you are putting your game face on, and now you are here to perform. Everything that has nothing to do with the actual performance, with executing your plan, and your plan does not involve extreme emotions, anger, disappointment, and all this drama, right? Just imagine you are performing in a theater and you forgot your lines. You're not gonna just freak out there, right? You still have to make sure that people don't even notice that you forgot your lines. You have to perform, maybe improvise, maybe just, keep calm and keep cool and make sure that people think this is just part of the program. So when you are trading, you have to make sure that you actually leave all your drama behind the door. So I know that you were talking about leaving everything when you go back to your family, but it is really helpful to do it both ways. Mm-hmm. So start practicing being uncomfortable, not when you are trading. When you are trading, you already have to be comfortable with the discomfort. Start practicing outside of trading. A lot of times we find ourselves in situations where maybe we don't receive an answer from someone that we are comfortable with, or we avoid confrontations, right? Someone has different opinions, and it's very easy to walk away. Now, challenge yourself not to. Challenge yourself to put yourself in situations that are new, that are uncomfortable, that maybe make you feel a little bit, like, oh, it just, like, energy wise, it doesn't feel well. I don't like to be in this environment. Stay in there and breathe through it. Start exploring where is your edge, because the more you explore that, the more you will extend your edge, and the more immune you will become to those energies that make you uncomfortable, so that when you come to the trading desk, you are actually able to deal with it already, and not that when you come here now you're thinking, oh my god, it's uncomfortable, now I have to try to deal with it. No, because then you are already calm. And then when you are in that state, it really helps you not to panic, not to get completely emotional, right? And when you are able to do that, there will be no emotion that you will be taking with you out the door the other way, and sitting at the dinner table and maybe having, you know, all those thoughts like, oh my God, it was a horrible day, etc. Clear split both ways is absolutely important. And if it helps you, and you know, in the corporate world, a very symbolic thing is to wear a tie, right? And I know that a lot of traders says, oh, when I trade, I can just sit there in my pajama and nobody will notice. Yes, nobody will notice, but your body will notice and your mind will notice. So you have to make sure that you also have that split. Okay, now I am working, I am in my business, so I am treating this seriously. And that will help you to go back home. I know you're home already, but go back to your private life and take this, metaphorically speaking, take the tie off and say, now I'm off, right? And now I just want to relax. I don't want to think about all this that happened during trading. Meditation is another thing that really, really helps with that, because it puts you, actually, it brings your brain into a different state, right? When you are meditating, actually your focus goes on to the frontal part of the brain, and emotions are at the back part of the brain. So when you are here at the front, you are more rational. So when you meditate, that helps you take more rational decisions and not jump back into, you know, into that emotional drama. Another thing about meditation, which is really very interesting, and for those of you who are interested to read more, actually there was a team of neuroscientists that went to Dalai Lama, and they did extensive study of meditation and the monks, and compared it to people who are not meditating. And what they have found out is that when you are meditating, your body and your brain much quicker switches from the state of neutral to the state, from the state where you are aroused by stress, for example, back to state of neutral. So that, imagine when you take a loss and it hurts you, a lot of times people carry that loss with them, right? They carry it through the next trade, the next day, to their dinner table, and they keep going over and over and over again. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. Why did I do this? Oh, this is really hurting. And when you're meditating, you are much more prone to just release it much quicker, so that you can start from that neutral position again and start making rational decisions.
So that brings on a very interesting aspect, because you have the grief of a loss of trade, but you also have winner's high when things are coming through. How have you been able to combat both sides of these emotions as in your journey and as your students as you've assisted? What's been your techniques to battle that high and that grief?
So a lot of times we put a lot of attention on losses, but the highs are equally important, because our emotions are going up and down, right? And we know what feels good, because we also know how it feels when you feel bad. So you are always kind of going back and forth between the two extremes. Now, the more extreme it is, the more painful, like the more extreme the high, the more painful the low, right? And a lot of people would say, okay, now I hit the rock bottom, right? But there is a way to start getting more aware of where you are on this swing. And it's like a sinusoid, basically, because your emotions are energy. And I say it's emotion because it's a thought brought into motion. So it becomes an emotional experience. So you are emotionally experiencing the thought that you were just thinking. So you kind of give it a momentum. And to get back on that neutral state, you have to, first of all, become aware. So what I developed for myself and then also for my students is a worksheet where you can actually measure where you are on that swing, let's say, right? So whether you are really high and feel invincible and like, yes, I get it now, and I'm such a fantastic trader, and I'm gonna double up my size now because it feels so good. And then usually those trades don't work, and now you're losing all the profit. Now you're completely back down because now you feel like a loser. I just had all this money and now I lost it all. Oh my God, I'm so stupid, right? So how do you stay more in that neutral zone? I simply say, take a break, just walk away, give it time, because the energy has to subside, right? And it needs time. You know that also when let's compare it to going to a party and you have a drink. You had maybe one beer, you still feel good, everything is good, you're more in a neutral zone. But if you go overboard, now you might either feel really bad, right? Or you're feeling really, really good until you feel too good, and then it goes back down. So in order to get back to that neutral zone, you have to give yourself the time to kind of level it up, right? So to kind of to come back to that neutral zone. And that's that's with everything in life. Balance is the key word here, because you have to make sure that you are always balancing between those two extremes. Everything that's too much or too little will either hurt you or not satisfy you. So staying somewhere in balance is the name of the game. And that's the same with sizing, with your risk level, with the number of trades you're taking. It's always really about balance. And the more balance you have, the more stable emotionally you will feel. And again, you can also practice it outside of trading. You should practice it outside of trading, so that when you come to your trading desk, you already feel balanced, so that the swings of the market are not going to throw you off your balance and off your plan, because you will feel very, let's say, sturdy, right, with 2 feet on the ground, and you say, okay, this is my plan and this is what I'm going to do today. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to hear more tips, make sure you subscribe down below, and I will see you in the next video.